Hey Orange, guess what?
What?
Pac-Man... Welcome to the third episode of Pac-Palooza. This week we'll have a video dedicated to the Great Yellow One every day in anticipation for the Rise and Fall Pac-Man video coming this Saturday. So what are we playing today? We're playing a rather obscure and bizarre Pac-Man game. Now I'm playing this on a Jakks Pacific plug-and-play. This is the best one they ever released, being released sometime around 2009 or 2010, and Jakks Pacific, if you're watching this, please make plug-and-plays again. They were of superb quality with great joysticks, a great selection of games, great emulation, and just release an HDMI one where there's a sort of console with wireless controllers, and we're good to go. But looking at the selection of games we have here, we have the classics, Pac-Man, New Rally X, Galaga, Galaxian, though I don't know why anyone would want to play Galaxian when Galaga is here, but it's nice to have the option, Xevious, Bosconian, Pole Position, Dig Dug, Mappy, and more obscure games like Pac-Pal and Super Pac-Man. All of these games are pretty standard from what you'd expect from a Pac-Man compilation of sorts, be it a plug-and-play or Namco Museum. The only notable omission is Miss Pac-Man. But there is a game that is quite bizarre here, and that is Pac-Man Plus. But why exactly? Well, the story behind this game is very interesting to say the least. Bally Midway was given the rights to distribute Pac-Man in North America. They were not given the rights to make sequels though, but they did anyway. These sequels included Junior Pac-Man, Professor Pac-Man, and yes, even Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man was a cultural phenomenon and is looked back upon fondly and is pretty much unanimously seen as better than Pac-Man in every way. The other sequels, not so much. And Pac-Man Plus was one of the weirder sequels, but out of all the unofficial sequels to re-release, they had to release this one, but I figured, let's take a look at the game and see what it's like. So right off the bat, you can tell there's a difference. The maze is teal instead of blue. Wow, earth-shattering. It kind of reminds me of Crazy Kong in a way, only this game is much nicer to look at and doesn't have a horrifying version of Donkey Kong. Also, it's a remixed version of Pac-Man, such as the fruit actually having things like turning the ghost invisible, though it gets much weirder later on. At its core, this is literally just Pac-Man, but much, much more challenging. My uncle played the game, and he's a Pac-Man god, but unfortunately, he himself admitted that he hated this game and wasn't good at it. There are still the tricks you can do in the original Pac-Man in this game. You can use this spot to hide from ghosts from here, but you definitely don't want to do that for too long. Also, the ghosts are much more aggressive in this game. Not only do not all of them turn blue, but as you can see, they are full of rage. I don't know why, but they just are. But I'm not very good at Pac-Man, I'm just gonna admit that. Despite me loving the series, I'm not very good at Pac-Man. But essentially, what this is a remixed and more challenging version of Pac-Man. It was released as some sort of conversion kit, I believe, for older Pac-Man cabinets. Kind of like how Nintendo did for Donkey Kong 3, only Donkey Kong 3 is a completely different game that we'll cover, definitely. But Pac-Man Plus was interesting to say the least. As you can see, all the fruits have been replaced by drinks. So you can see Pac-Man enjoys getting drunk and also likes drinking Coca-Cola. And the game is a lot faster, so I'm assuming they're using the original recipe for Coca-Cola in this game. What a weird and bizarre game. But at its core, this is just Pac-Man. Just a lot more challenging, and if you're not good at Pac-Man, you're not going to be any better at this game. And it gets even weirder from here. I really wish on this plug-and-play you could set the lives, because to get good at this game, I think having it set at 5 lives would help tremendously, but unfortunately you can't do that. And also, I don't know what the ghost is called here. We'll just call him Jim, but that usually never happens, and of course it's near the completion. But I can get an extra Pac-Man. The cutscenes are still here and everything, they're exactly the same as they are in regular Pac-Man, but the ghost looks different, of course. I don't know why they changed them to have the green leaf on their head and make them a little bit different, but now Pac-Man has changed his diet from drinks that are high in calories to something as pure as edamame. One time I was at a Wendy's, and the guy was describing what was in a salad, and he referred to edamame as edamamas. Do you see how this game isn't very interesting when I'm talking about edamame? Well, anyways, that was one of the quirks of the game. This stage turned invisible. This is the part where my uncle said, you know what, I'm done with this game. So overall, what I think of Pac-Man Plus? Well, it's a bizarre part of history to say the least. I prefer the original Pac-Man, but it's a cool remixed version of Pac-Man that's been re-released quite often. It's often released on the arcade 1-up. It was released on the plug-and-plays. I don't think it's been in a Namco Museum game, but yeah. If you want to play Pac-Man Plus, you can. But I would love to see games like Junior Pac-Man, maybe not Professor Pac-Man, but maybe have it re-released just to preserve it, and Baby Pac-Man, despite that game being a half pinball game, re-released sometime in the future, because those are different games. Though at least with Junior Pac-Man, it did get a port on the Atari 2600, which is actually very good. But yeah, I'll admit I'm not doing very good at this game, but it gives you an idea of what this game is like. And yeah, this is where it gets really challenging. But it appears that the ghosts remain the same as they did in later stages, but not all of them turn blue. And now they're invisible. So yeah, we're gonna play some more Pac-Man Plus. I don't think I'll last much longer. And I was right. I was just gonna eat Inky, but unfortunately, he got the better of me. Though the high score was 22,000? I don't know who was playing that. I don't think it was me, but if it was me, wow. I really need to play this game more. So what do you guys think? Have you played Pac-Man Plus before? And what do you think of it? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and keep calm and da-da on.